You're watching WGXA Morning News right here on Fox 24. Well, today is a very spooky day because, of course, it's Halloween and we have live team coverage for you all in Middle Georgia this morning. Throughout the morning, we're actually going to be checking in with our meteorologist, Daniel McFarland, at the Weather Center. He's going to be bringing us all of the latest conditions if you're going to be attending any festivities tonight. Then we're going to check in with our very own Amaris Jenkins in downtown Macon, and she's going to be giving us the latest updates if you're trick-or-treating downtown. And finally, my co-anchor, Victoria, she's actually live at Georgia College right now, and she's going to be giving us a spooky tour that's going to be taking place at the governor's mansion, the old governor's mansion, excuse me. We're working for you this morning, so stick with us. And Halloween, like I just said, it's finally here, and there are some family-friendly events happening across the mid-state today. Victoria, she's live in Milledgeville this morning, so what's going on, Victoria? The old Georgia's Governor Mansion, I'm told it has some ties to Halloween.
Yeah, it does have some ties to Halloween, Terrell, and the best person to explain that is Matt right here. Tell us what you do here at the Governor's Mansion.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Matt Davis. I'm Director of Historic Museums here at Georgia College, and we're interested in telling a little bit about the stories of Halloween here at the Governor's Mansion.
And right now we're sitting in the Rotunda, which is a really special part. If you have never been here, I highly recommend. But we have actually this coffin sitting behind you that some of the people who are going to be coming to the tours later today will get to experience.
Correct, and you can think of this like a 19th century form of green technology. In the 19th century, it wasn't uncommon to have what was called a presentation coffin. When you died at home, they put you in this to take you to the undertaker, and then they brought it back for the next person.
The undertaker, of course.
Into this, well, you know, keeping in the spirit of the day, right. Into this. And it was interesting because it had lead bottom so it could be washed out for the next person. So something we don't do today for sure.
Definitely not. That's always an interesting fact, but anyone who's coming today, you have two tours. The first one is starting at 5:30. That one is more family friendly, and they'll still get to enjoy this and all the other rooms in the mansion, right?
Correct. And the second tour being the Death After Dark tour, which gets a little bit more into kind of the in-depth history of the deaths of the time period, but there'll be really something for everyone today.
Awesome. So if you guys want to come over, you're more than welcome to, and if you can't make it today, they're always open every other day, and you can enjoy it here. But again, that first tour starts at 5:30. In just a little bit, we're going to explain why this coffin is here, who sat in it, and we're going to get real spooky. But I know that in Macon, that's where our own Amaris Jenkins is right now. You guys are seeing some spooky behaviors over there. Amaris, what's going on? What can people do today on Halloween?
Yeah, Victoria, it's pretty spooky over here as well as we set the atmosphere and go into Halloween here in downtown Macon, but we also have some fun activities in store as well. Newtown Macon and their partners have a lot of trick-or-treating events happening today in downtown Macon. If you take a look at your screens at this, 35 local businesses and organizations will open their doors to families with children and pets in Macon's Central Business District and pass out candy and dog treats. Comics Plus of Macon will host a scavenger hunt with free comic books to promote literacy. But get this year Newtown Macon has teamed up with the Community Foundation of Central Georgia to offer cupcakes at the Halloween headquarters on Mulberry Street. Now, due to the weather forecast, some activities will be moved indoors during trick-or-treating. Attendees can pick up a map of participating businesses and the comic book scavenger hunt from the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame at 301 Cherry Street. And as you can see behind me, that's actually where I am located this morning. Now, a fun fact is WGXA News, your friends here, we will be out here passing out candy as well. Now, last year we passed out about 3,000 pieces of candy. This year we have 6,000 pieces of candy. You don't want to miss out. So be sure to head on out from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and enjoy Halloween with us here in downtown Macon. Live in downtown Macon, Amaris Jenkins, back to you.
Thank you, Amaris. And as we're starting things off today, we're not seeing too much rain. You saw Amaris was just outside. It was a little cloudy. So it's okay to be outdoors right now, but later this afternoon, that is going to be changing. I do want to point out to you that we do have a 1 out of 5 on that severe threat level for later on today. So yes, there is a very small chance of severe weather, but we're not looking at a tornado threat. Instead, it's going to be strong wind and heavy rain. Those are the two big things we're going to be looking at here. Now, of course, if you're wondering about how much rain we've seen so far, Macon, Crawford County, County. You're also seeing places like Forsyth. They've been in between 1 and 2 inches of rain with a few isolated spots seeing a bit more than that. Southern Wilkinson County right here has also had about 2.5 inches. That's been one of the worst areas affected by this drought, and thankfully it does seem like that drought's getting a little bit better. And I'll have an update on that for you here in just a moment as well. And of course, if you look at the current radar, not too much rain happening outside of Monticello and Eatonton. So as we get into the next few hours, get out there, get what you need to get done. If you have any errands to do, get them done early before that chance of severe weather moves in. I think the main time frame for us is going to be between 3 and 6 o'clock. That's your big time to watch out for, and that will be interfering with the trick-or-treating forecast, and I'll have more info on that for you in 10 minutes.
And right now, we actually want to go ahead and give you all a look into your live morning commute. Our cameras are live along I-75. The traffic is flowing. Everybody is making their way to work, or whether they're going to school, or whether they're running to a Halloween store to get that last-minute costume. Everybody make today a great Thursday and make it a great Halloween. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the top stories we're following for you this morning. Thieves taking advantage of fire evacuations have been posing as firefighters. Plus, we're actually going to take a closer look at the discussions on Capitol Hill regarding health care. But first, a small plane crashes into a townhouse near Atlanta, leaving 2 people dead. New this morning, 2 people are dead after a small plane crashes into a townhouse in suburban Atlanta. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating, but inclement weather may have played a role in the accident.
Sorry about that. This captain take out home shoreway 200 left. They'll get right back to you. We're looking for an aircraft.
This is audio from DeKalb Peachtree Airport's tower just moments before the plane crash.
Sorry, 258, waiting to another group. Contact the line flight. Have a good flight. Appreciate the help. Completely.
This is when the tower lost communication with the aircraft. We believe this could be the pilot's last words before crashing into the townhomes close to Chamblee. The FAA says a Piper PA-28, which is a 4-seat aircraft, took off from runway 21 left at PDK at around 10:30 this morning. Shortly after, less than 2 miles away, it crashed. We are hearing reports the plane was on its way back to Rowan County in North Carolina. Right now, we don't know what caused the plane to crash in the first place. It has been raining and overcast all day, making it not ideal for flying.
If he has an instant rating and he's qualified, he can do it. But the level of performance, the level of proficiency that you have to display in these circumstances is much more precise and much more demanding.
Authorities have not yet released the names of the 2 victims. Fortunately, no one was inside the building when the plane made impact. And every day, more than 130 people in the U.S. die after overdosing on opioids. The misuse and the addiction to opioids, including prescription pain relievers, heroin, and synthetic opioids like fentanyl, are a serious national crisis that affect public health and social and economic welfare. Just last night, 2 specialists from Coliseum Medical Center for Behavioral Health actually held an event to educate the people about this ongoing epidemic.
The signs of misuse is really any kind of change in behavior. You know, you're going to see maybe if you have somebody that's pretty outgoing all the time, maybe somebody that's sleepy, you know, just really behaviors that are back and forth, really something that you don't really recognize.
The CDC estimates that the total economic burden of prescription opioid misuse just in the U.S. is $78.5 billion a year. And as the California wildfires continue to rage on, law enforcement has an important message for those evacuating. Stick with us to hear it.